Hey guys, let's talk about using the Shape Builder tool in Adobe Illustrator. It's pretty simple, pretty powerful, and a great way to adjust and create different complex shapes. All right, so let's share my screen and dive right in. So when drawing shapes in Illustrator, you can start with the basics, of course. You can start with, rectangles and circles and stuff. But if you want to make something that's sculpted, I like to say, something that's a combination of shapes, instead of trying to use the pen tool, which can be a little too complicated, you can use something called the Shape Builder. So here's what I'm talking about. We're going to switch over to the ellipse tool, which you find over on the toolbar, and we're going to draw a circle. By the way, if you hold the Shift key, you can get a perfect circle while you drag and draw that shape on your screen. Right now, by default, it's black and white. I'm going to go ahead and change the color so it's a little more obvious what it is. So I'm going to just go ahead and pick a red color and turn off the stroke. The stroke really doesn't matter at this point, but in any case, this is what I've got. So, what if I just wanted to do something simple, like turn this into a crescent shape? I wanted to just cut out a portion of this circle. Well, the best thing to do is to draw another shape, and what you end up doing is you use the second shape as a cutting shape on the one underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw this shape here next to it. I'm going to go ahead and change the color to yellow so it's obvious what's different. So basically, what I'm going to try to do is use this yellow shape to cut away from the red shape to make that red shape into a crescent. So the first step to using the Shape Builder tool is to go ahead and select the objects you're going to adjust. This is a very simple little thing, but a lot of people forget to do that and they try to use the Shape Builder and it doesn't work. So definitely make sure, first step, select everything. The two shapes that you're going to modify. Then go look for the Shape Builder tool. The Shape Builder tool has kind of like a circle and an arrow through it. And by default, as you're looking at this tool, it has the cursor and it has a little plus symbol next to it. What that means is that by default, as you click and drag through objects with your mouse, everywhere you touch is added to the previous shape. So plus means add. So if I just click and drag across these three shapes, boom, it joins them together. If I hit Command Z, I can go back and see that again. Also, notice that when you hover the cursor over those intermediate pieces, it kind of highlights it, letting you know that you're interacting with that piece. And so that's how you can add things. Well, what about subtract? On your keyboard, what you end up doing is you press Option, or for PC users, Alt. And when you press that button on your keyboard, you'll notice that the little plus next to your cursor turns into a minus. And the same thing, whenever you hover the cursor over a piece, it's going to interact with that piece. And so what I do is I just click, holding Option, and drag through the yellow pieces that I want to cut away, and it drops them out. So really simple and easy way to make one shape cut another shape. So that's kind of one of the building blocks for working in Illustrator is learning how to construct more complex drawings out of simpler pieces. So let's try drawing an X-Men logo. Let's do that. So I'm going to go back to the ellipse and I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle. I'm going to draw that circle. Then I'm going to go back and draw another circle. Same thing, just click and drag, and I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to go ahead and change the color so that it's obvious which one's which. And this time around, I'm going to grab the background circle and I'm going to convert that into yellow. And then what I want to do is I want to line these two circles up. So I'm going to select them both with the selection tool. And then, by the way, I'm going to align them so that they're centered together. Now, by the way, if you don't see what you see on my screen, these control settings, this is a different workspace. My favorite workspace for Illustrator is Essentials Classic. So if you want to see the choices that I have here, what you do is you go to the window menu and you select Workspace, Essentials Classic. And what that does is it gives you different controls all around the workspace. The current Illustrator tries to simplify the workspace too much, and I don't like that. I like having these different things available. So in this case, what I'm looking for is the alignment tools. Up along the top bar, you'll see these alignments. If you don't see those alignments, you can look for it on the properties dialog box. If you don't see them there, you can go to the window menu and even open alignment. What I'm doing is I'm going to center the objects horizontally. Then I'm going to look for the next one and align them vertically. All right. So this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to get the circles lined up together. I wanted them to be precise because, like I said, we're going to turn this into the X-Men logo. So actually, we need to have the circle and then the X in the middle of the ring. Now, what I've noticed is the circle I drew, the red circle, is a little bit too large for what I'm after. So I need to reduce its size. Here's a little tip. When I reduce the size of this circle, what I'm going to do is press Option or Alt and Shift. What does that do? That allows me to scale the object from its center. Where if you don't press Option or Alt, when you scale something, it moves it to the side. So what I'm trying to do is to keep it in position, but then shrink it slightly. And this is more of what I want. I want to see this object at this size. All right. Now I'm going to draw the X. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the rectangle tool. So I'm going to switch to rectangle, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle vertically in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and use a different color so it's obvious what I've got here. Now, again, I'm aligning all the objects, and I'm going to convert this into the intended X in a minute. So I need to draw this vertically, and it makes it easy to keep it symmetrical by drawing it vertically first. Same thing as I did before, I'm going to select all the pieces. So I'm going to go to my selection tool, grab everything, do vertical alignment and horizontal alignment. So now the rectangle and the circles are all centered together. I need to draw one more spoke in this wheel. So I'm going to copy that green rectangle. And this time when I paste the rectangle, I'm going to go to the edit menu and I'm going to say paste in place. That aligns that rectangle exactly in the same spot as the original. So in fact, when you press it, you don't notice that it's actually there, but it is an extra piece. So I'm going to do that. Paste in place. Again, doesn't look like anything happened, but actually it did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hover my cursor over the top of the rectangle, and you'll get the little back and forth bar, which allows me to rotate. So I'm going to grab that, hold Shift, and drag it until it now looks like a cross. So to convert this into an X, I'm just going to rotate both pieces slightly. It was easier to draw these vertically and horizontally so that I get them symmetrical, and then I'll tilt them 45 degrees to make the X. So the last step then is to select the green spokes of this wheel. So I'm going to click the first one, I'm going to hold Shift and select the second one. Then I'm going to hold Shift again and drag the corner to rotate. So it goes halfway, there we go, or 45 degrees, now I've got my X. Well, it's incomplete. It's different colors, different shapes. I want to join them together. And again, this is where that shape builder tool comes in handy. I'm going to now connect these pieces by using the shape builder tool. But first, what do I have to do? Select everything. So I got to select all the pieces. Now you can see they're all separate in different colors. Now I switch back to the shape builder tool. And I have to be careful now as I use the shape builder tool. It will automatically add things together even if I don't want to, depending on where I click. So what I need to do is I need to drag my cursor through the green spoke of the wheel, and I don't want to touch the red area because I want that to join with the yellow ring in the background. So I click with my mouse and I drag carefully through the green spoke all the way through the other side to the yellow. And then notice it's halfway there. I got that first diagonal X piece. Now I have the other one I've got to do. So I go ahead and click with my mouse and drag down through that other side until those are joined. Good. Now I hope you can see that what it did was it joined all the circles and the diagonal lines together, and it left the red pie shapes alone. But because the two top shapes I had were green, those shapes turned into green. Well, all I got to do now is go back and select yellow. Oh, I need to change tools first. I'm still on the selection tool. I mean, on the shape builder tool, I need to go back to selection. Now, what it's doing is you can see there's a little question mark in my fill box. Well, what does that mean? That means that it's selected the red pie pieces and the green shape. I need to deselect that and then click on the green. So now just the green is selected. And now I can change it to yellow. And I've got my X-Men logo, right? Good. That's a simple way to explain how the shape builder tool works. I hope that that helps and that you can use it to draw even more complex shapes. As I like to say, what you want to do is try the simplest solution first. A lot of people are intimidated by the pen tool, which is right. It just takes practice. But if you use the shape builder tool, you can get away with drawing basic shapes and then using other basic shapes to carve and shape exactly what you want. Really good for logo design and other pieces like that. So if you like that, great. If that helps, good for you. I also have a link in the description if you'd like to join one of my classes where I teach even more about Adobe Illustrator. All right, take care.